What a driver this guy is. I mean, what can you say? He's only 23 and he just doesn't fear anybody or anything.
In Formula One, the sport can beat you, not just the other drivers, the sport itself. The rules shift, the car quits, politics tilt the table. With Kimi Räikkönen, that was the fight. The stopwatch said outrageous, and the sport kept saying not today. Here's the simple lens I want you to hold. Kimi had two peaks. In one, he could erase you over a lap or a stint. That's the pace peak.
Wow, Kimi Räikkönen!
That was incredibly brave.
Kimi Räikkönen is in another league right now.
Absolutely unbelievable pass by Kimi Räikkönen.
In the other, he closed the deal. Points, podiums, the trophy. Same driver, two outcomes.
Kimi Räikkönen, 23 years old, wins his first Grand Prix for McLaren. For Kimi Räikkönen comes to an end. He missed out on the world title by only 2 points last year, but he's beaten Michael Schumacher in the Belgian Grand Prix. Kimi Räikkönen takes victory in the Hungarian Grand Prix. Kimi Räikkönen wins the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Okay, it's all over. It's all over. Hamilton 7th. Hamilton 7th. By my calculations, we win the championship by 1 point.
If you only look at the title count, you miss half the truth. And I'm talking straight to you. When I claim fast, I'll show you where it showed up. When I say cost, I'll show you what disappeared and why. We'll also call out the days he under-delivered. There were weekends he chased setup, got out-qualified or faded. This isn't a fan poster, it's a clear read of a complicated prime. 3 promises to keep us honest, starting with the one that hurts, the reliability tax. What went missing before the driver could do anything about it? DNFs.
Slow start. Ralph protects his life from Barrichello, and Raikkonen's in the mix as it all goes terribly wrong. Kimi's car is wrecked. Räikkönen is lucky to escape unharmed.
Grid penalties, points evaporated, the stuff that may have taken a championship off him twice. Head-to-head, same car. Who set the pace in the other garage? Qualifying gaps, points per finish, race control, including the one teammate who almost matched him. Context that changes outcomes, rule quirks and team dynamics that move the scoreboard, tire rules, no tire change seasons, how Ferrari operated, the fine print that can turn wins into DNFs. To anchor where we're going, in 2003 he missed the title by 2 points. In 2005 the speed was wild and the failures were too. In 2007 the math finally broke his way and he won by 1. We'll unpack those windows with receipts, not fireworks, so you can decide how good his prime really was. You'll hear numbers, but only the ones that help you feel the story. How often he out-qualified the guy beside him, how many points were likely on the table when parts broke, and why certain weekends flipped once the rules changed. If a rival punished him, I'll say it. If the car saved him, I'll say that too. So, how does someone get that fast that quickly? Before the wins and the one-liners, there was a test where a nobody climbed into a Formula One car and made veterans look up, and the debut that proved he wasn't a gamble at all. That's where we start, because you can't judge 2003 to 2005 without seeing how the pace arrived almost fully formed. You see it the first time he gets a real car, no PR circus, just a quiet kid on a test sheet labeled Eskimo. And after 6 laps, he's quicker than the race driver.
And there is the Finn. 21-year-old Kimi Räikkönen, the most astonishingly calm and mature man. He's another Häkkinen.
Yeah, he was too fast for the camera on that corner. The camera was watching the space he'd just been through.
No spin, no fuss, just time on the board, P6, points on debut. The rest of the year, he keeps scoring and Sauber punches above its weight. That's not luck, that's a rookie acting like he's done this for years. Then comes the leap. Mika Häkkinen steps away at McLaren. On paper, there's a safer choice.
A former champion announced that he would be taking next year off. Mika Häkkinen's replacement at McLaren will be his young protege, Kimi Räikkönen.
On the stopwatch, there's Kimi. McLaren gambles and drops him straight into title or bust territory. Every Friday run matters, every setup call echoes, the margin for error shrinks to nothing, and you start to see the pattern that will define his early prime. When the car holds together, he's on the podium. When it doesn't, engines, hydraulics, drive shafts decide the finish. It's not an excuse, it's the era. His job is to be fast and precise. The rest is out of his hands. That speed comes from small, exact choices. In races, it's the same mindset. Clean exits, tidy lines, less slide to protect the rears. No speeches, no theatrics, just pace you can see on the next sector split. Off track, he keeps the noise low. Short answers, minimal media.
It seems like this year the luck has turned. Do you agree, and why do you think it is?
What?
I don't know.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate. Kimi, did you have any temptation to go to drive the simulator to get better settings for you?
No.
No energy wasted where it won't buy lap time. Call it cold if you want. The lap charts didn't care.
How are you today? I mean, you've got a wet towel. Oh, it's pretty cool. How do you feel today?
What?
How do you feel today?
I don't hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Come on, don't make jokes with me. Tell us a little bit about the race. What do you think?
I don't know, it's gonna be hot.
Come on! Jacques, vad håller i vagn? Det är så typiskt att finna.
All of that sets the stage for the first real test of his prime. 2003 is where promise turns into proof. Same calm face, much sharper edges. He's 23 in a car that can fight. First punch lands in Malaysia. Smart start, clean strategy, win.
Away we go! Alonso on the right, Trulli on the left. Watch out for Michael Schumacher behind Alonso, who's got away brilliantly. Coulthard has made a superb start. There he goes round the outside. 23 years old, wins his first Grand Prix for McLaren. It's back-to-back victories for the McLaren Mercedes team. What a start to the 2003 Formula One season. Fantastic.
After that, it's a season of constant presence, always near the front, always in the points hunt. By year's end, he'll be 2 points shy of the title. Let's keep it simple and fair. Same car, same day. Next to David Coulthard, Kimi does the heavy lifting. He scores 91 points to Coulthard's 51. He takes the majority of qualifying battles. He stands on the podium 10 times, with only one of those a win. That spread matters. It tells you he brought the car home high, often, even when the outright win wasn't there. Now the part that hurts, the reliability tax. At the European Grand Prix, the engine lets go while he's leading. 0 points. Be conservative. Don't hand him the win. Call it a likely P2. That's +8 under the 2003 system. At Brazil, a red flag mess flips the result after the fact. Kimi is dropped from first to second. That's -2.
And probably found
Race stopped.
Red flag, race has stopped. So,
Martin, I have to interrupt you because the Jordan team are bouncing up and down in the pit lane. We're looking at the images there of that incident of Alonso. Debris all over the track. As far as the Jordan team are concerned, this race is over and they have won
Those
it.
2 moments alone, they match and pass the final title gap. And the context isn't quiet. Mid-season, the FIA changes how front tire widths are measured, new, not used. That trims an advantage from Michelin runners like McLaren and Williams, just as the fight tightens. Ferrari and Bridgestone press the opening. Margins that were tenths become whole results. You feel it most in the late flyaways when the title math starts to bite. What did Kimi control? Starts, stints, and error count. He kept the car pointed the right way on days when others tripped. He didn't burn tires with slides. He didn't chase glory laps at the cost of Sundays. He just banked points. That's why this season looks quiet in highlight reels and huge in standings. What didn't he control? The day the motor quit from the lead, the day the win changed hands in the steward's room, the rule tweak that shaved grip when it mattered. That's the sport acting like a villain, changing the track under your feet while you're still driving. 2 points short, not because the pace wasn't there, because enough things outside the cockpit lined up the other way. If 2003 is the calm case for how good he was, 2005 is the loud case for Kimi's prime. Same calm driver, a much faster weapon, and rules that could bite hard. McLaren gives him the MP 420, blistering in clean air, quick, even heavy on fuel. The new no tire change rule means one set must last an entire race, so smooth hands are gold and every flat spot is a time bomb. On raw pace, he's terrifying. 7 wins, 5 poles, 10 fastest laps. That isn't noise, that's a car and driver package that can crush a weekend. Keep it fair, same car, same day. Teammate, Montoya. Kimi wins the qualifying battle, outscores him over the year, and carries the title push while Montoya misses time and chases form. When Kimi starts up front, he gaps the field. When penalties shove him back, he climbs anyway. And that's where the villain shows. Engine changes mean 10-place grid drops, front rows become row 6. Now you're trapped behind Schumacher's Ferrari on old tires, stuck in a Renault fuel-long stint, or caught in a classic trolley train, burning the best laps in dirty air, nursing rubber you're not allowed to change. The speed is still there, the road is blocked. The one that stings most is the European Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. He flat spots a tire, vibration builds, but the rules say you stay on them. Final lap, the suspension gives up.
One race Räikkönen is under real pressure. There it goes, the tyre lets go. He just misses the VAR. And I said he should have pitted. I told you he would have got a podium if he'd pitted. Instead of which he's going to get absolutely nothing. Ron Dennis can't believe it. The racer in Räikkönen wanted the victory. He wanted to stay out there. The common sense.
From a likely 10 points to 0. And Alonso inherits the win. That single corner moves the title needle by double digits, a brutal 2-for-1 swing you don't drive your way out of. Could he have taken the title with normal luck? You don't need fan math to feel it. Turn just a couple of those broken Sundays into solid podiums and the standings look different fast. That's why people still argue 2005 Kimi was the fastest driver alive, even if the trophy lives somewhere else. So you've seen both sides of his first peak, lap time brutality, and a season shaped by penalties and parts. The next payoff isn't about getting quicker, it's about everything else finally lining up. Now we go to 2007, where the quiet guy stops being almost and actually closes the deal. Ferrari, new uniform, same driver, and finally, the kind of season 2003 and 2005 should have been. This time, the pieces finally line up. He wins the opener, rides through the messy middle of the year, then locks in when it matters most. Over the season, he stacks 12 podiums and 6 wins, and on the last day in Brazil, he does exactly what a results peak demands. He wins the race, and he wins the title by 1 point.
Massa looks like he's going to try and set the fastest lap of the race on the last lap, as you say. Räikkönen, though, is at the bottom of the hill. It's the big climb up the hill now that will make him the world champion of 2007. He came here third out of 3. He's going away in the lead. He is going to be world champion. Kimi Räikkönen wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. His first victory here, the 15th of his career, and by no doubt the most important. Massa finishes in second place. Alonso is going to come in third, and the dream is over.
Inside the team battle, he also clears the first bar, more points than Massa across the year, so the garage level audit checks out. This wasn't a gift, it was a close, clean finish from a driver who knew how to bring the car home when there was no room left to save it later. Put that next to what you've seen already, and the shape of his prime is clear. In the pace peak, 2003 to 2005, Kimi could flat out be the quickest driver on earth, qualifying gaps, fastest laps, ruthless stints. The reliability tax kept turning front rows into traffic and sure points into zeros, but the speed was real and repeatable. In the results peak, 2007, he showed the other half of greatness: consistent scoring, quiet Sundays, and a calm last act when the math was tight. Same driver, 2 outcomes, one measured by stopwatches, one measured by trophies. You can argue the timeline at the edges, but the verdict is pretty simple. Prime Kimi Räikkönen was good enough to be a multi-time champion. The difference between one and several wasn't courage or racecraft. It was how often the car, the rules, and the timing lined up on the same weekend. When they did, he closed. When they didn't, he still gave you pace that forced everyone else to respond. And the legacy piece? Even past the prime window, the ceiling stayed high. Abu Dhabi 2012 reminded everyone what race control looks like.
On his return to Formula One, we're about to see Kimi Räikkönen win once again in Formula One. 18 wins, now make that 19 wins. It's Lotus's first of the season. It's Kimi Räikkönen back on top as he wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
And Austin 2018 proved he could still win in a straight fight.
For the first time in 113 races, the checkered flag for him as a winner. Kimi Räikkönen wins the US Grand Prix and breaks the record for the longest gap between race wins. It is victory for Ferrari. It is victory for Kimi.
The radio lines are fun.
Gloves and steering wheel. Gloves. Mark, gloves. Steering wheel. Gloves and steering wheel here. Hey. Hey. Steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to me. Come on. Move.
But the real story is a driver who did the hard parts quietly, build speed, protect tires, keep mistakes small, and make the big pass when the moment finally opens. So how good was he actually? Good enough that if you care about speed, you put his best years in the top tier. Good enough that a different roll of the dice turns one title into several. Good enough that, years later, engineers still talk about how little drama he needed to go very, very fast. If you want one more lap with that idea of talent and timing, I've got a short follow-up you'll like. F1 prodigies who never made it. Click to see how drivers with sky-high promise fell short when the sport turned into the villain.